Alright, hello guys and welcome back. Today we are out in the bush doing a little bit of a four-wheel drive. Now, first things first, we want traction control off. We'll go into rock mode and we'll select 4 high and we're set. Also, drop pressures down to about 25 psi just to help just conserve a bit of tyre life and also give me a little bit more grip. Not that we're going to really need it out here because it's pretty simple, pretty easy. But definitely first thing you just want to do is set yourself up for the sort of terrain that you're in, and you don't need traction control and you don't really need your diff lock unless you're really going crazy. So that's all good for me. We're set to go, so let's get into it. Alright, so on the beach, Y62 is awesome, just laps it up. Now, a couple of things that you want to just make sure when you're on the beach. If you stop the car, turn it off, traction control will turn back on. So make sure you disengage that before you set off again, otherwise you might find yourself in some strife. Now make sure as well you go back into sand mode, because it'll do its own thing and go back to on-road. Now I always drive in sequential mode, so I can always choose the gear that I need to be in, because I don't want to have to be stuffing around with the car trying to figure out what gear it's in or whatever. Haven't really had much experience just driving the car in auto, so I can't really comment on how good the transmission is in that respect. I'm assuming pretty decent, but again, just for total control over the vehicle, I like to be in sequential so I can choose what's going on. And also you can party a lot easier that way as well. So obviously still in 4 high, don't need diff locks on, don't need to be in 4 low, don't need to be in any of that rubbish. 4 high is fine. Just remember your tyre pressure is paramount when you're out on the beach, because you know you want as much grip as possible. So yeah, just always remember that. Also, when you're on the beach, just be careful of other people. You know, other people are out here trying to enjoy the beach, so don't be a dickhead. But you know, have your fun as well, but just be careful of where you are and what you're doing. Now this track's pretty bumpy. There's a lot of corrugated sections and rutted out bits just from people driving across the main track. So yeah, just take your time, but like I'm just idling along through here and no dramas at all. Patrol just, yeah, eats it up. Alright guys, we're back out at a different spot now. This has changed a heap since I was here last. This whole middle section was just full of water. We won't be going through that bit today just because it looks a bit boggy and I don't feel like getting bogged. So we're just going to take the right track and follow it around and yeah, get into some other different challenges out here in this area. So let's get into it. You know what? This other side actually does look heaps better than that big rut. Like I was saying, this area has changed quite a bit since I was here last, and that rut looks like it's gotten heaps bigger. Probably straddling this will probably be the best option for us, I reckon. Sort of feels in the rut here. And yes, she is a bit boggy, but all that weight of the big patrol just carries me through, no dramas at all. Just a little bit of throttle input, but barely any, and she gets through that, no dramas at all, quite easily. And that's one of the benefits of the patrol, is that having that weight and that power just helps to keep the momentum to pull through. So yeah, it makes things a lot easier. So for out here, obviously traction control's off, and we're in 4 high in sand mode, because sand mode sort of acts a bit like, sort of works well in mud as well, just to give you that power when you need it. But I'm going to change into rock mode just for the things that are coming up ahead. So we can take that response out of the accelerator, so we can just keep things nice and smooth as we move through. This bit's a little bit bumpy. Again, just like out of the other place, this place has a heap of little hidden tracks and stuff around that you don't even realise when you're out here, so you can spend quite a bit of time just trying to figure out different little tracks and stuff. A little bit of a rutted section here, just go in slow, pop out easily. And the reason I go fairly slow is just I don't want to ruin the front bar or anything, so when it comes time to chuck a bull bar on, I can actually sell it on in the future, and it won't be so difficult to actually to take apart if I break or bend something. Plus, you know, I don't want to ruin how the car looks and make it just look absolutely shocking. Now, it was out here last time that I actually found that my four-wheel drive wasn't working, so all these tracks I actually did in two-wheel drive, but I can definitely feel that the four-wheel drive is definitely working. Turning's a lot more difficult, and I can feel the LSD doing its job. Now, I need to go and find the tracks that we were on last time, because they were okay. little bit of a rutted section here. This is all about here. Pretty narrow. Love being able to see. Very narrow section. That's one of the downfalls of the Patrol, obviously, is its size in the bush can be a bit annoying. As long as you just go slow, there's typically no dramas. We'll hook around to the left. Now, right was the section that I had so much drama with because it was only in two-wheel drive, and it looks like it's been eroded a heap. It looks really difficult now, so yeah, definitely will not be attempting that, that's for sure. Now, again, this is the issues of the Patrol. It is way too big for tight little tracks like this, but yeah, like I said, nice and slow and easy, and it'll get you there. Also, having them front cameras on as well when you're doing stuff is so handy. You can see where your wheel placement is and where you're actually putting the vehicle. Because that bonnet's so long, it's so hard to actually see where it is that you are meant to be going. Now, this little section here is a little bit sketchy because it puts you on a pretty good lean. But again, as long as you go slow, you're all right. Right guys, this is a final note. The GoPro actually decided to stop filming, so that was quite annoying. But anyway, just as a recap, we'll just go through some of the things that we've figured out on this little just this little video of what the Patrol's good at and what it's not good at. Now, the Patrol is a massive car, so you need to be very considerate of the tracks that you're driving on, have some good prior knowledge, go with some people that can help out if things go wrong, and you know, if things just look dodgy, probably best not to attempt it, you know, because these cars are so wide, heavy and long that you know, if something just doesn't feel right, just back out of it. You know, there's no harm in just backing out and looking after your car, because at the end of the day, you know, you break your car, could be weeks before you get it back on the road again and enjoying it. So, you know, you're best off just taking it easy, taking it slow, enjoying your time in the car instead of having to work on the car by making a silly mistake and breaking it. So just keep that in mind. You know, we all know how big these things are, so yeah, just take it slow and take it easy. Obviously, independent suspension, we all know that it doesn't really cut it when it comes to a live axle setup. So always keep that in your back of your mind. Your mates might have a nice tricked out GU Patrol, and you can see him go places that are just insane. But just keep in mind that you probably won't be able to go the same places, just because of the fact that the independent suspension setup does limit you in some areas, although they still do quite a good job and they can probably keep up with a live axle vehicle. But just keep in mind that you might find things a bit more challenging just for the fact that yeah, you've got that against you. Where it's really comfortable on the road and handles great, yeah, it sort of sucks a little bit on the off-road side of things. Now, especially if you haven't lifted your vehicle, keep in mind that the ground clearance could be an issue. If you've got 35s, it'll certainly help quite a lot, but with a stock vehicle going through some places, just be careful. Through that last little river crossing section, the washed out river bank, did scrape the rear bar a little bit, and that's just because, you know, of the angle and everything, but a bit more lift probably would have helped to clear that. But again, if you're not too worried about getting a few scratches and a few dents and that sort of business, then certainly get out there and enjoy your car. But again, if you're a bit worried about the car and its panels, just pick your battles and yeah, take it easy. Now, some of the things it does really well, pulls through just about anything. This car just really wants to drive. So a little bit of throttle response, like you've seen, I did quite a few times, and it pulled me through obstacles that you know, were a little bit challenging, a bit technical, and just crawled through them so easily. It definitely helps having such a vehicle with the weight it does, as well as the engine that it has. It's got quite a bit of low end torque, which helps to pull through those, you know, lower RPM sections that you go through. So it does really well at that. Also, having all that technology to help as well is awesome. Having all them different modes to help out. So we were in rock mode for a majority of the time, except for the start. So having that sort of stuff does definitely help when you're doing more technical stuff. You can change how the throttle reacts to its input, so that's also quite handy as well. So thanks heaps for watching, guys. I'd love to know down below, where have you taken your Patrol? What are the crazy things that you've done with it? You know, have you outdriven other cars that are more capable? Because I mean, I've just proven how capable this car is stock, even though those tracks weren't overly difficult or anything, but definitely goes to show just how well that they do off-road. So let me know down below, what where have you taken your Patrol? What have you done with it? I'd love to know, very interested. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you've enjoyed today, and we'll catch you in the next one.